Sound check. Hello students, all of you, welcome back to your own channel Vedantu NEET English. This is Basavaraj Sir. All of you know your biology master students. Welcome. Students, quickly let me know chat right now if I'm audible and visible to all of you students. If I'm audible and visible to all of you students, quickly smash the like button right now, students. Quickly, all of you, smash that like button. Now students, here is a small request, students. Quickly, all of you go call your friends, because trust me, this is going to be a really very important class, because I'll be teaching you lines of NCERT, word by word of NCERT for Pteridophytes and Gymnosperm, students, word by word also. Okay, so all of you students, quickly go call your friends. Now students, tell me, how many of you struggle with understanding the life cycle of Pteridophytes? Students, raise your hands. How many of you students, how many of you struggle? All of you, how many of you struggle with solving questions like this, students? How many of you struggle solving questions like this? This right here is a NEET. This right here is a NEET 2025 question, students. Here, see this. So if you struggle with solving such questions, this is the class, students. So if you attend my class till the very end, you'll be able to solve the PYQs. You'll be able to solve every single other questions also from AIPMT, AIMS level questions, and also you will be understanding every line of NCERT. So students, if you are ready for today's class, quickly add some fire emoji in the chat and also smash, students. All of you, quickly smash the like button right now, students, all of you. As usual, students, these notes are going to be available. These notes are going to be available in the Telegram channel, and don't worry, students, I'll teach you everything. Now, this chapter, I am taking the responsibility for this chapter, students. All of you students, all of you. This session is going to be for 1.5 hours and we'll be finishing the chapter, students. Entire chapter will be finished today. Now, if you're not watched the first part, algae is separately done. Bryophytes has been done separately. Pteridophytes and Gymnosperms are going to be done separately, students. Now, let me ask all of you in simple things, students. I want all of you to close your eyes right now. All of you, close, students. All of you, close your eyes right now and try to visualize a pteridophyte. All of you go, students. All of you go. I want all of you to close your eyes and try to visualize a pteridophyte and tell me what comes to your mind right now, students. All of you. You are struggling to study botany, then study from me. Chill. All of you, tell me, students. All of you close your eyes and try to visualize a pteridophyte. What is coming to your mind right now? Type it, students. Type it, all of you. Type it. Hello, Hannah. Hello. Taris, hello Manu, all of you. Hello Sharmita. Hello. Tell me, students, what comes to your mind right now? So 99% of you, trust me, it is a fern. Yes or no, students? It is a fern. Do you have this structure in your mind, all of you students? This is a structure in your mind. It's a fern. Yes, students. These are called as pteridophytes. These are called as what? Pteridophytes. This also is a pteridophyte. This I'll come back to later, students. This I'll come back to later. Now, students, if you look at the plant kingdom classification, we are done with the algae, done with the bryophytes. Now we are come on to the pteridophytes, students. We have come to the pteridophytes right now. Students. Let's start all the class. Let's start the class. Very simple information. I'll teach you, students. The first thing which I want all of you to understand is that the pteridophyte onwards, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms, all three are nothing but they belong to something called as Tracheophyta. Now you might be wondering, sir, what is the meaning of Tracheophyta? Tracheophyta are the type of organisms or type of plants which has the vascular system. Now students, what do I mean by vascular system, students? All of you. Can anyone tell me, students, what is the meaning of vascular system? Anyone? All of you. Cycus gymnosperm. Yes, Cycus gymnosperm, students. Can anyone tell me what is a vascular system, students? The meaning of vascular system is xylem and phloem. So from here onwards, that is from pteridophytes onwards, from pteridophytes to gymnosperms to angiosperms, all of these plants will have something called as xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem is present, students. Xylem and phloem is present all the way from here. So all of them also belong to something called as Tracheophyta. Now students, can anyone tell me this xylem and phloem, what do you think they help in, all of you? What do you think they help in? All of you in the chat, tell me. All of you will know what is the function of your xylem and phloem, students. Xylem and phloem mainly help in transportation of water, transportation of food. Students, pterido, right? Pterido meaning is fern, and phyta means plants. So these are fern plants, fern-like plants here. And students, they are the first terrestrial plants to possess vascular tissue, that is xylem and phloem, students. Any doubt here, students? Any doubt here, all of you? So these are the first land plants which have the xylem and the phloem, students. Xylem and the phloem, which help in the transportation, students. So here is a few examples. Equisetum is an example, Salvinia is an example, ferns are an example of pteridophytes. These are the examples of pteridophytes, students. Here are other images also. Here are other images. Now students, we understood right now, they have xylem and they have phloem. But students, if you have learned anatomy from me, tell me students, how many types of xylem are there? There is tracheids, there is vessels, there is xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Yes or no, all of you? Yes or no, there are 4 types. But students, do you know that these vessels are generally absent here? Vessels are absent here, students. Now, if you have learned anatomy from me, tell me students, what are the different types of phloem? There is all of you, sieve cells, there is companion cell, there is phloem parenchyma, phloem fiber. Now students, the sieve cells and companion cells are also absent here, right? Sieve tube is absent here. So all of these sieve tubes and vessels, they are found in the angiosperms and angiosperms itself. They are not found here. So they will have xylem and phloem, but these xylem and phloem are primitive type. Students, is that point clear to all of you? Students, is that point clear to all of you? So in the case of your pteridophytes, they will have xylem and phloem, but their xylem and phloem is a primitive, very, like, let's say they have a prototype of it. They have a very primitive type of xylem and phloem, like initial starting xylem and phloem. Now as the evolution went by, the xylem and phloem also went under evolution, and then we got vessels, then we got your sieve tube cells, then we got the companion cell, angiosperms. Students, is that point clear to all of you? All of you, is that point clear? So here we will have primitive type of your xylem and phloem, primitive type of xylem and phloem, primitive type of xylem and phloem, primitive type. Okay, students, primitive type here. Now I want all of you to understand the next thing here. How is the plant body, students, here? Plant body. The plant body is said to be differentiated here. Now students, did you find the differentiation in your bryophytes and algae? No. In bryophytes and algae, the differentiation was not very well developed. But from pteridophytes onwards, the plant body is much more very well differentiated here. And this green color part, students, do you see this? This entire green color part, students, it is called as what? It is called as main plant body. Main plant body, students, main plant body. And if all of you students, remember, main plant body can be a gametophyte or it can be a sporophyte. Yes or no, all of you? Main plant body can be a gametophyte or a sporophyte. Now in the case of algae and bryophytes, students, all of you know my lecture. First lecture, so all of you tell me, in the case of algae and bryophyte, what is the main plant body, all of you? What is the main plant body? All of you. In the case of algae and bryophyte, the main plant body was gametophyte there. Gametophyte was haploid. Now here, the main plant body from pteridophyte onwards, gymnoangio, the main plant body is called as sporophyte. And students, is the sporophyte diploid or haploid, all of you? All of you in the chat, tell me, is the main plant body here, that is your sporophytic plant body, is it going to be diploid or haploid? It is going to be diploid in nature. Main plant body is going to be diploid in nature, students. Is that point clear to all of you, students? All of you, is that point clear to all of you? So here onwards, the main plant body is sporophytic in nature, it is diploid in nature. Okay, it is well differentiated now. It is well differentiated. Okay, students, you see this now. Can all of you see? We have the stem-like structure here called as rhizome. Yes, rhizome is stem here. This has root-like structures here. I'll come back to the one by one. It has a leaf-like structure called as frond also, frond. Now, in this plant body, which is sporophyte here, it has phloem and xylem. All of them are primitive in nature, students here. Okay. Now, what is the habitat, students? Again, just like your bryophytes, they are found in your moist, shady students. All of you, they're present in moist, shady areas. Yes, they're present in moist, shady areas or crevices of rocks here. You can find them on the tree trunks like an epiphyte here, or near the water body, also you can find them, students. Okay, some of them even keep it in your house also. So initially I had it in my house, now I don't have it. It died, students. RIP. It died also. Okay, students. Now till here I want all of you to understand. Till here we understood. All of you, let's summarize quickly. They are pteridophytes. They are part of Tracheophyta, which has xylem and phloem here. There are different types of your pteridophytes. They will have primitive type of your xylem and phloem, not complex. There is no tracheates, so there is no vessels, there is no companion cells absent here. Okay. Now, students, the plant body is well differentiated here. Plant body is well differentiated, and the main plant body is called as sporophyte, students. Main plant body is called as what? Sporophyte. Sporophyte, students. Now, do you think pteridophytes are new? Students, no. Pteridophytes are actually 1 million years old, and as a matter of fact, pteridophytes are around 350 million years old. And when we had dinosaurs, remember dinosaur, Jurassic World? All of you seen Jurassic Park, right? If you look at Jurassic Park, in the background we can find ferns. So ferns are present on Earth from a very long time. Imagine, even before humans also. Even before humans, we could see the pteridophytes. So that old pteridophytes are. Okay, that old pteridophytes are. That old pteridophytes are. Now, student, this is your plant body here. It has rhizome. Rhizome is a stem-like structure here. It has roots-like structure, and it has a leaf-like structure called as frond. Frond is a leaf-like structure here, frond. This is the differentiated plant body, student. Differentiated plant body. Differentiated plant body, student. Differentiated plant body. Now, and as a matter of fact, the stem is referred to as rhizome. They have different types of stem. Some of the stem can, students, see this. Some of the stem can be long, creepy stem, or short, creeping stem, or ascending stem. The stem can be of 3 types. Now, can anyone tell me what could be the function of a stem? Anyone, students? Anyone in the chat who can tell me what could be the function of a stem? Anyone? Anyone, students? Who can tell me what could be the function of a stem? Function of a stem. Mechanical strength, yes or no? It can provide support and sometimes even photosynthetic, because if it can provide support to the leaves, mechanical strength, or even sometimes photosynthetic if it is green color, herbaceous stem. Okay, herbaceous stem, students. Now, then roots. Again, root, students, they are type of your adventitious roots here. There is no taproot here. Taproot will come later on, students. Taproot will come later on here. Function of roots is what? Absorption of water and mineral. Again, very simple. Stem, very simple. Root also very simple. But do you know where it gets complicated, students? Do you know where it gets complicated? Do you know where it becomes much more creative? The plant becomes creative now. Do you know where, students? Here. In the leaf. Students, in the leaf. Okay. Students, that is called as frond here. The leaf is called as frond here, and this is a frond. Now, what could be the function of, students? What could be the function of leaf? Anyone? Students, I'll give the notes, don't worry. I'll not eat the notes away, I'll give you the notes. Okay, tell me, students, what could be the function of leaf? Anyone? Anyone, students? What could be the function of leaf? Anyone who can tell me? Students, what could be the function of a leaf? You'll tell me, sir, leaf main function is do a process called as photosynthesis to make the food. Yes or no? Function of a leaf is to make photosynthesis, to make food, basically, to make the food. But students, there is a special, these leaves are very special leaf. Okay, so before we go to the special function of this leaf, right, let me teach you there are 2 different types of leaf. One is called as a small leaf, one is called as a large leaf. Understand? We have something called as microphyls. These are your small kuti leaf like this, small leaf. Seen in the case of Selaginella. Selaginella, you can see the small leaf. And we have macro leaf, like in the case of fern. So remember, ferns have megaphyll, that is called your bigger leaf. Microphyll is small leaf, yes students, small leaf. Now students, ready to be shocked students? All of you. So you can see here, microphylls and macro. Okay. So the main function students, main function of leaf is this, all of you know. But it also helps in reproduction. You're shocked right now students? Shocked, yes or no? You might be wondering, sir, how can a leaf help in reproduction? Yes or no, all of you students? Curious? All of you curious? You might be wondering, sir, how can a leaf actually help in reproduction? Let me teach you. To understand here. Now, if you look at a leaf of a pteridophyte, if you take a leaf that is the main plant body is a sporophyte. Now, if you turn the leaf around, you will see this small spots on the back of a leaf. Students, some of you might have seen the structures. Here, students. These structures are called as sporangia. Okay. These structures are called as what, students? They are called as sporangia. Now, let's say I have a normal leaf. Students, what are the leaf called as? Leaves are called as fronds here. Yes or no? Leaves are called as fronds here. Fronds. Now, let's say a frond is fertile now. Let's say a frond is fertile. It has something called as sporangia. Now, this fertile leaf is now called as what? It is now called as sporophyll. So I want all of it in the difference between a normal frond and a sporophyll. Sporophyll is a fertile leaf. Sporophyll is special leaf because it has the sporangia. So sporophyll is what, students? Sporophyll is technically a fertile leaf because it has sporangia on it. This is a sporophyll. This is a sporophyll right now. This right here is a sporophyll. Now I want all of you to understand, students. These are actually clusters of sporangia. It is not one sporangia, students. It is called as a cluster of sporangia. Let me show you. See this. This is how it looks. This is called as a cluster of sporangia. This cluster of sporangia is called as sori. It is called as what? It is called as sori. So all of these are called as what? They are called as sori. Now in this sori, we have a lot of sporangia, students. A lot of sporangia in it. Students, is that clear to all of you? So all of you, let me ask you a question. How can a leaf help in reproduction? Because if the leaf can become fertile, it is called as sporophyll. A sporophyll have a cluster of, it will have sori behind it, and these sori here is nothing but cluster of sporangia. Now this cluster of sporangia will have sporangia inside. Now these sporangia will divide further and give you spores eventually. It will give you spores eventually, students. Meiospores. Let me teach you. Now students, now let's say this is one leaf right now. One leaf. Now let's say I take multiple leaves. One leaf, second leaf, third leaf, fourth leaf. Now if I completely pack a lot of sporophyll, many sporophyll. If I combine a lot of sporophyll, we get a compact structure. Students, all of you, if you take multiple sporophyll, we get a compact structure. That compact structure of multiple sporophyll is called as strobilus or strobilus. Strobilus, also called as cone. Students. Also called as cone here. So all of you can see the cone here, students. This is called as a cone in the case of equisetum. Here, students. See, what is a cone, students? What is a cone? Sometimes sporophylls, the fertile leaf, can give rise to distinct compact structure. Sporophyll becomes compact, that is called as strobili or cone. It is seen in the case of Selaginella and equisetum. This right here is equisetum cone right now. This right here is Selaginella cones. Can all of you students, can all of you see? Selaginella cones here. So what is a cone, students? Cone is nothing but a compact sporophyll. If you take multiple sporophyll, the fertile leaf, you combine them, we get the entire thing, students. NCERT line after this is over, after pteridophytes is over. Okay, students, clear all of you? Clear? Yes or no, students? Now from this particular sporophyte, we can get two types of spore, students. From a sporophyte, we can get two types of spore. One is called as Homosporous type of your pteridophytes, Heterosporous pteridophytes. Now, what is the difference, students? Homo means what? Homo means same or one. Same or one here. So here we have only one type of spore. Okay, one type of small spore is seen here. In heterospory, we have two types of spores here. Okay, here we only see small spores, small microspore, large megaspore. Micro and macrospore we get. Okay, it is seen in majority of pteridophytes. While heterospory, students, heterospory is seen where? Heterospory is seen in the case of Selaginella and Salvinia. This right here is a NEET PYQ, students. This right here is a NEET PYQ, all of you. So where do you find pteridophyte, students? Where do you find heterospory? Heterosporous is found in Selaginella and Salvinia, students. Salvinia. Okay. Here we can find male gametophyte, female gametophyte, separately in heterospory. Okay. Here we can find bisexual gametophyte. Only one gametophyte, students, here. Only one gametophyte here. Okay, only one gametophyte, students. Now let me just summarize, students. Let me just summarize for all of you. Here, students, we have rhizome. Students, what is rhizome? All of you. Students, what is rhizome? All of you can tell me. Students, what is a rhizome? Rhizome is the stem-like structure here, students. Stem-like structure. Now from this rhizome, we can get roots. Then here we have one more stem-like structure called as your stalk, that is also called stipe. Then we have the entire frond here, students. Frond here. Frond. This entire thing is called as a frond. A frond has something called as pinna, that is your individual leaflet here. Now, students, let's say this frond has sporangia. Students. Then what do you call that, all of you? Now, let's say this frond here, that is a leaf. This frond has something called as sori, which has a lot of sporangia. Lot of sporangia, students. What do you call that special type of frond? Fertile frond, students. What do you call the fertile frond? The fertile frond is called as, what, students? It is called as sporophyll, students. It is called as, I'll make sure, don't worry, we'll make 9 months plan. Okay, we'll make 9 months plan, don't worry. Okay, it is called as sporophyll right now. Done, students. We got sporophyll. Sporophyll is a fertile frond which has sporangia on it. Now let's say I take multiple sporophyll. Let's say I take multiple sporophyll and I completely form a compact structure. Students, what do you that structure is called as what? The structure is called as strobilus or cone. So if I take multiple sporophyll and join them together, I get a cone. Example, students, equisetum and Selaginella. Equisetum and Selaginella here, students. Equisetum and Selaginella here. Equisetum and Selaginella, students. Selaginella here. Okay. Now, students, let's see how much we covered in NCERT right now, students. Let's see how much we covered in NCERT right now. Ready, all of you? Now, students, see this. The pteridophytes include horsetails and ferns. Horsetails was the one, other one that showed you, right? The Selaginella and everything. The pteridophytes are used for medicinal purpose and soil binders. Now, this is called as what? Economic importance. Economic importance of pteridophytes. They're used as a medicinal purpose and soil binders. They help in holding the soil. So that is your economic importance again. Economic importance. They are also frequently grown as ornamentals. That is, for aesthetic purpose. For aesthetic purpose, we keep it inside our houses. Evolutionarily, they are the first terrestrial plants to possess vascular tissues, xylem and phloem, students. Now, all of you, do they have the true xylem and phloem, students? Do you think in the case of pteridophytes, do they have true xylem and true phloem, students? No, they do not, students. They do not have true xylem and phloem. Okay, they do not have true xylem and phloem. Okay, the pteridophytes are found in cool, damp, shady places, though some may flourish well in sand soil condition. Okay, now you may recall that bryophytes, the dominant phase in the life cycle was gametophyte. Yes or no? In algae and students, in algae and bryophyte, it was gametophyte as the main plant body. However, in pteridophytes, the main plant body is sporophyte, students. Which is what? Sporophyte, students. Sporophyte is diploid or haploid? Sporophyte is diploid in nature, students. Sporophyte is diploid in nature. Okay, which is differentiated into true root, stem and leaf. Now, these organs possess well differentiated vascular tissue. The leaves in pteridophytes are small. They can be microphyls, selaginella. Students, remember, selaginella, microphyll. Macrophyll, ferns. Yes or no? Macrophylls in the case of ferns here. The sporophyte bears sporangia. Students, sporophyte is what, students? Main plant body, yes or no? Students, tell me, is the frond part of sporophyte? Students, is the frond's stem, rhizome part of the sporophyte? Yes or no? Sporophyte is the main plant body. So technically speaking, the frond, the leaf, is a sporophyte here. Yes or no? The sporophyte bears sporangia that are subtended by leaf-like appendage called as sporophyll. So sporophyll is the fertile leaf which has sporangia on it. In some cases, sporophyll may form distinct compact structure called as strobili or cone in Selaginella and Equisetum. In Selaginella and Equisetum, they find the cone here. The spores germinate to give rise to inconspicuous, small but multicellular prothallus. Free-living, mostly photosynthetic, thalloid gametophyte called as prothallus, students. From here, we will not read, students. This we will do once again later on. Okay. Now, once I teach you the what is seed habitat, what is homospory, what is heterospory life cycle, then once I am done drawing the life cycle, we'll come back to this. What is prothallus? When does the prothallus come into picture? Once I draw the life cycle, then we'll do it, students. So till here, any doubt, students? First paragraph, students. First paragraph, any doubt? All of you. Students, here you can see the cone. This is the conus strobilus. Okay. This is Selaginella, students. Selaginella. We can find the rhizome, roots, and everything here. Okay. Now, students, shall we start the life cycle, students? Shall we start the life cycle, all of you? Shall we? All of you. Okay. Now, students, now let's start the life cycle here. I want all of you draw, students. I want all of you draw with me. If you draw the life cycle with me, you'll understand. You'll be able to solve the questions. Otherwise, those questions are going to be difficult for all of you. So draw the life cycle with me right now, all of you. Okay. Now let's draw a sporophyte, students. Sporophyte is the main plant body, right? All of you. Sporophyte is the main plant body. All of you. Sporophyte is the main plant body, right? Sporophyte is the main plant body. So they have leaf-like structures here. Okay. Now here we can find the stem-like structure called as your rhizome here. And let's say this is the soil here. And in this soil we can also find the roots. Adventitious roots. These are called as what, students? There's no taproot here. Remember, there's no taproot here. These are adventitious roots. Now, students. Now, these are called as what, students? These are called as what, all of you? Students, what are the leaves called as, all of you? What are the leaves called as? Leaves are called as frond. Yes or no? They're called as frond here. This is the rhizome. These are the adventitious roots. Now students. Now let's say there is something called as a fertile frond here. Now this frond here, student, let's say this frond here, on the back side it has a lot of sori here. Okay. If you zoom into the one of the frond here, this frond here has a lot of sori. Lot of sori, students. A lot of sori can be found here. Sori. And this sori is nothing but a cluster of sporangia. Cluster of sporangia. Now students, what do you call this structure frond now, which has the sporangia on it? Now this frond is technically called as what? It is called as sporophyll, students. It's called as sporophyll. A sporophyll which has sporangia in it. A sporophyll which has the sporangia, students. It has the sporangia. It has the sporangia in it. Okay, students, any doubt till now, students? Any doubt till now? All of you? Any doubt till now, students? No doubt. Now, inside the sporangia, what happens, students? All of you need to understand here. Inside sporangia, here, in this sporangia, inside sporangia, meiosis takes place. I'll write on top, students. Inside sporangia, meiosis takes place. Now students, technically this sporangia is also diploid right now because it is a part of your main plant body. Main plant body here, which is technically the sporophyte here. And this sporophyte is obviously diploid here. Diploid in nature, diploid in nature. Okay. Now students, from a gametophyte we get gametes. From a gametophyte we get gametes. From sporophyte, what do we get, students? All of you. From a gametophyte we get gametes. From a sporophyte, what do you think, students, we get? From a sporophyte, what do we get, students? From a sporophyte we get obviously spores. And these spores are haploid in nature, students. These spores are haploid in nature. Now students, now I want all of you to understand, these spores will not germinate into sporophyte again. See, diploid in nature, spores are haploid. Now what do they develop into, students? These spores develop into let's say a short-lived filamentous green color substance called as prothallus. So this structure develops into a structure called as prothallus. Now I want all of you to understand a few points, students, about prothallus here. Prothallus is technically, students, prothallus is technically what? It is technically the gametophyte, students. It is technically the gametophyte. Yes or no? Haploid, haploid, and haploid. Now, students, this prothallus here, students, this prothallus here is technically what? It is green color. So, is it photosynthetic, all of you? Understand? Is it photosynthetic, all of you? Yes or no? So, this right now is photosynthetic in nature. So, can I tell it is independent or free living? Free living. Yes or no, all of you? It is photosynthetic, green color, free living. But the main part is, students, this prothallus actually doesn't last for long time, students. It is very short-lived because this has to be replaced by the main plant body. So this prothallus is very, very, very short-lived. It is very short-lived. It is very short-lived. But again, it is also multicellular in nature. Multicellular in nature, students. Now, question will come from, students. Question come from any part. Any part can be asked a question for your prothallus. Now, students, prothallus is a gametophyte. Now, what do you think a gametophyte can produce? Now, this gametophyte can produce 6 organs here. So, this gametophyte here will develop the 6 organs. Okay. Let's say I'm going to draw the gametophyte in a easier way right now. Just draw the gametophyte like this for easiness. Gametophyte here. This gametophyte can have the male 6 organ and the female 6 organ. Okay, students, this male 6 organ is called as what? It is called as antheridia. This is called as archegonia. Antheridia and archegonia, students. Archegonia, antheridia as well as archegonia. Okay. Now, students, here from this antheridia, what do I get? From this antheridia, I can find something called as biflagellated anthrozoids. Biflagellated anthrozoids here. And students, what do we have here? Here we have one egg cell here, students. Here we have one egg cell, students. Okay. Now, students, all of you tell me, this anthrozoids will reach the egg cell if this anthrozoids, biflagellated anthrozoids, if they fuse with the egg cell, what do we get, students? What do we get? We end up getting a diploid structure. Students, we end up getting a diploid structure. If you see here, on this archegonium, we get diploid structure on the inside. And this diploid structure is nothing but the zygote, which is diploid in nature. Zygote, which is diploid in student. Zygote is diploid in nature. Now, students, one second, let me just write it up. Now, students, can this diploid zygote here develop and become the main plant body? Yes or no? This diploid zygote can now develop into the main plant body. All of you, with the help of obviously the mitosis here. Obviously, mitosis, students. Mitosis. See, this is your prothallus, which was haploid, and this zygote diploid, students. Now, that is the life cycle of Homospory, students. That is the life cycle of Homospory, students. This is how you understand the life cycle. If I rush this, trust me, you will not understand if I rush this. Okay, so I'm going to repeat one more time from starting till the very end. Please follow, students. Please follow through here. Please follow through. Okay, see, starting we have the main plant body, students, here. Main plant body called as a sporophytic plant body here. The sporophytic plant body is diploid here. It has fronds, rhizome, adventitious roots, everything. Now let's say one frond here becomes fertile. The fertile frond is called as what? Sporophyll. Now this sporophyll has sori. A sori is nothing but a cluster of sporangia. This cluster of sporangia, right? What happens here? Inside sporangia, meiosis takes place here. Meiosis takes place here, students, here. And after meiosis, we get spores. Now, all of you, let me just highlight this, all of you. Okay. After meiosis, we get the spores here. Now, these spores obviously develop into the main plant body here. Main plant, develop into the prothallus. All of you, it develops into the prothallus. All of you, for Homospory pteridophytes. Okay. Now, here, students, we see only one type of spore here. Only one type of spore here. So, Homosporous type. That's why the Homosporous type. Because we have only one type of spore here. Now, this prothallus is technically the gametophyte, haploid, photosynthetic, green color, free living, short-lived, multicellular. Now, on this structure here, that is the gametophyte, what happens? Antheridia, archegonia. Antheridia, male 6 organ, archegonia, female 6 organ. Here, gametes, antherozoids, as well as the egg here. They fuse together to form the zygote here. Zygote is diploid, develop into the main plant body. Develop into the main plant body. Okay, develop into the main plant body. Now, students, I will show you what is given in NCERT. All of you, just read those lines. Let's see if you understand. All of you, read this. All of you. Okay. The sporangia produces spores by meiosis in spore mother cell. That is the sporangia. Okay, spore mother cell. In the spore mother cell, right? There's something called spore mother cell inside the sporangia. The spore mother cell undergoes meiosis. The spores germinate here. Give rise to the spores. These spores germinate out. Yes or no? These spores germinate now. Germinate to give rise to a inconspicuous, means very small, short-lived, but multicellular, free living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophyte. So it's a thalloid gametophyte, students. This thalloid gametophyte does not have any type of your shoot, root. So did we see anything here? Students, did we see any type of shoot, root here? Any shoot, any root, any type of stem? No. It is a thalloid structure. Prothallus is thalloid structure here. Thalloid structure. Okay, thalloid structure, students. Okay. Gametophyte. Right. These gametophyte require cool, damp, shady place to grow. Because of this specific restriction, requirement, and the need for the water fertilizer, students, here again, here this entire thing is mediated by water here. Entire thing is mediated by water. Mediated for water here. This bifurcated anthrozoids going towards the egg is, everything is by water. By water here, students. Okay. Now, students, here. Now, that's why they're limited to strict in a narrow geographical area. The gametophyte, the prothallus bears male and the female sex organs called as antheridia and archegonia. Okay, archegonia, respectively. Water is required for transfer of anthrozoids. All of you know what is anthrozoids here. These are called as anthrozoids here. Okay, antheridia, archegonia, anthrozoids. The fusion of male gamete with the female egg present in the archegonium results in the formation of zygote. The zygote therefore produces a multicellular, well-differentiated sporophyte, which is the dominant phase of the pteridophyte, students. See this, sir. This particular fusion will result in a zygote here, students, zygote, and this zygote is present where? In the archegonia itself. This zygote will undergo division to give the main plant body, students. Give rise to the main plant body. Zygote will give rise to the main plant body, that is sporophyte. That is the sporophyte, student. That is the sporophyte. So, students, did we understand every single line of NCERT, students? Every single line of NCERT is covered here. Okay. In majority of the pteridophytes, all spores are of the similar kind. Such plants are called as Homosporous. Genera like Selaginella and Salvinia, which produces Heterosporous, students, Heterosporous. Now, it gives Heterosporous. Now, if you want to understand the rest of it, students, if you want to understand the rest of this entire thing, I have to teach you again, okay? Because this part you cannot understand by this slide here, no. Because this is a slide for Homosporous only, students. Students, the slide is very clear. Okay, this slide is only for Homosporous. Now, shall we start the Heterospory, students? Shall we start the Heterospory? All of you. See, this is only Homosporous. Here we only have one type of spore here. Okay. Students, is it not clear to all of you? Students, is this not clear to all of you? Is it clear? I think it's pretty clear, right? It's pretty clear only. Huh? Students, is it clear to all of you? Let me just check in my phone, students. Students, it's clear only, no? It is clear only in my phone also. Huh? Clear, right? Okay, students. Now, this is called as Homospory. Done, students? Done? Very simple, very simple. Sporophyte will give you spores. Spores germinate to give the gametophyte. Gametophyte will give you gametes. Gametes fuse to give to zygote. Zygote again go back to sporophyte. That's all, students. That's all. That's all is a homospore, students. Now, heterospory, students. Let's start heterospory. Can we start, students? Can we start heterospory? Hello? Angela. All of you, can we start? All of you. Students, heterospory again is very, very easy. All you need to understand here is heterospory. We have two types of spores here. Okay, students, let's just start. Okay, let's draw one plant here. Students, give me the examples of heterospory, students. Students, give me the example of heterospory. Anyone? What is the example of heterospory, students? Quickly, students, in the chat. What is the example of heterospory in the chat, students? Selaginella and Salvinia. So let's say this is Selaginella. This is a Selaginella. So no space here. So let's this is Selaginella here, students. Selaginella. Okay. Because I have to write something else, students, here. Now this is Selaginella. Okay. This is the main plant body. Main plant body. Yes or no? This right here is the main plant body here, students. Main plant body. Now, tell me, students, this main plant body is a sporophyte or gametophyte? Anyone? This main plant body is, students, sporophyte or gametophyte? It is sporophyte. And obviously it is diploid in nature. Diploid in nature, students. Okay. Now I want all of you to understand, students, from this main plant body, right? From this main plant body, there are two different types of spores, students. Two different types of spores here, right? Now let's say we have a frond here. Let's say we have a fertile frond that is called a sporophyll. From this sporophyll, this is sporophyll here. From this sporophyll, we have two different types of sporangia here. So one leaf itself has something called as small sporangia, and it has a small sporangia here, and large sporangia. Okay. Now students, what next step is what? Obviously next step is meiosis. Next step is meiosis. Here also same thing. Now students, tell me, a sporangia after meiosis will give you what? Obviously spores, students. Yes or no? Yes or no? We get spores. Obviously we get spores. But here we get microspores. Here we get macrospores. Students, it is called as heterosporous type. Why? Because we have two different types of spores here, students. Macrospores or megaspores. Now students, tell me, these spores, this is sporangia is obviously diploid in nature because it is a part of sporophyte, students. Now spores are haplodiploid, students. Spores are haplodiploid, all of you. These spores are generally haploid in nature. These spores are generally haploid in nature, students, haploid in nature. Now, what happens, students, here? Understand here, if you go back here, same thing almost, sporangia, meiosis, spores. These spores underwent obviously mitosis here. Mitosis here to give rise to prothallus, that is a gametophyte. Yes or no? So here also what happens is that these spores develop again. These spores develop into a gametophyte. Develop into a gametophyte. This right here is called as what? From microspore we get male gametophyte. And students, what do we get here? Obviously we get female gametophyte here. We get female gametophyte here. Students, till here everyone is clear? I'm going to move aside and understand, students. I'm going to move aside. Just understand till now what we have done. We have understood there is a main plant body here, which is sporophyte. It has sporophyll. The sporophyll can give you, sporophyll have small sporangia, large sporangia. Small sporangia will give meiosis, microspore, megaspore. Microspore develops into male gametophyte, female gametophyte. And these gametophytes are obviously haploid in nature. Because NN, mitosis, students. Now, on this gametophyte, obviously we'll have the antheridia. And this antheridia here, students, it will produce something called as biflagellated anthrozoids. Done, students. This is antheridia. This is your antheridia here. Now students, here what do we get here? Here we get archegonia. And this archegonia has a single egg cell here, right in the middle. Now students, till here anyone, any doubt? Because next point is very important here. Till now we have been learning what? We learned here heterospory, two types of spores, microspore, large megaspore. Did we see, students? We saw the microspore, megaspore, two different types of spores here. Okay. We also learned, students, here we have male gametophyte. From microspore we get male gametophyte. From megaspore we get female gametophyte here. So we have two different types of gametophyte here. Here we had only one gametophyte here. In Homospory, students, we had only one gametophyte. Yes or no? See here. This is Homospory. Here we had only a single gametophyte, prothallus here. Okay, that only had both of them. Okay, students. Now till here, anyone, any doubt, students? Till here, anyone, any doubt? Because next point is very, very, very important. All of you. Till here, any doubt in heterospory? small sporangia, large sporangia, meiosis, microspore, megaspore, male gametophyte, female gametophyte, antheridia, and archegonia, and here we have an egg cell here. We have a haploid egg cell here. Here we have anthrozoids. Anthrozoids are here, students. Anyone, any doubt, students? Anyone, any doubt till now, students? Anyone, any doubt? I'm going very slow as possible. Please get the feel of this concept here. Get the feel of this concept here. Now, this male gametophyte is generally released. This male gametophyte is produced independently like that itself. Once male gametophyte is formed, right, it is not a part of sporophyte. It is released from sporophyte here. Let's say spores are released and these spores will develop into the male gametophyte independently. But students, what is the but here? I want all of you to understand, students. I want all of you to understand. This was your, let's say, this was the plant. Can I draw it here only, students? I want all of you to understand what is the fate of this female gametophyte, students. What is the fate of this female gametophyte? Generally, this female gametophyte is never released as such. These megaspores are not released in air. They're not released in water also. Because obviously it's water, they need water. It is not released in water at all. What happens is that, students, this is the frond here. This is the frond. So this is the frond here. This frond has the, on the back side, it has the, let's say, sporangia like this. This frond, this is the frond here. Okay, it has the sporangia in the back. Sporangia, I'm drawing only one. All of you should, there are multiple sporangia. Okay, now what happens, students? Understand, all of you. Please understand. Let me just erase this part here. This female gametophyte, students, here. One second. This female gametophyte is never released as such. This female gametophyte is actually temporarily, it is retained inside this round sporangia. This round sporangia is there, no? In this large sporangia here. It is the same large sporangia here. It is the same large sporangia. Yes or no? Same large sporangia. It is retained inside. So the female gametophyte, this one, this female gametophyte is retained inside the sporophyte. So students, understand what happens here is female gametophyte is retained inside the sporophyte. Which part of sporophyte, students? Inside the sporangia. It is retained inside the sporangia. Very, very, very important. Very important. Okay, all of you. Okay, sporangia is the cluster structure here. Okay, so here what happens? Female gametophyte is retained inside the sporophyte here. It is retained inside the sporophyte here, students. Now let's say here we have the archegonia. Okay, and after fertilization, let's say anthrozoids come into picture here, somehow it enters inside and eventually it fuses and we get the zygote here. We get the zygote. Eventually we have the zygote here, which is diploid. And this zygote here, this zygote, students, here, this zygote will develop into the main plant body. Zygote will develop into the main plant, students. So do you realize what is happening right now? Now plant is trying to make sure the control is present over the development of the future plant. So it is trying to take the control. It is now trying to take the control over the entire development of main plant body. So till now, bryophyte, homospory, it was releasing. Homosporous spores are released generally, spores develop into, see, it was not controlled here. Now what is happening here is, it is taking control, trying to take control over the complete structure here. Now students, do you know, in gymnosperms, we have something called as seeds. All of you, we have seeds in the case of gymnosperm. Now let's say seed is covered now, yes or no? Seed is covered. Inside the seed, what do we have? Students, all of you, inside the seed we have embryo. Now gymnosperms are set. They know if you disperse the seed will go fall somewhere and eventually the seed will develop into a plant. So it is very, future is secure here. Here it is trying to secure the future here by making sure this female gametophyte is retained inside. So this is actually called as seed habitat, precursor of seed habitat. Here there is no seed formation, students. Here there is no seed formation. Why? Because there are no integuments here. There are no integuments here. If there was integuments, then we could see what? Then in that case, we could see something called a seed here. But there is no seed here. But it is trying to make a seed. Students, do you realize the evolution right now? From algae, bryophyte, gametophyte plant body, main plant body, forget it. Pteridophytes. Pteridophytes, we got sporophytic plain plant body. It started producing spores right now, spores. Here now in pteridophytes, heterospory here. It is trying to control the spore also. Okay. I want to see this NCRT lines. All of you see this. All of you. See this, students, see this. As we know, heterosporous, the megaspore and microspore germinate and give rise to female and male gametophyte. Students, we have microspore and megaspore. They germinate to give male gametophyte and female gametophyte. Okay, female gametophyte, students. Okay, now respectively, the female gametophyte in these plants are retained on the parent sporophyte. Students, beautiful line of NCRT. In these plants, heterosporous plants, this female gametophyte here, it is retained inside the parent sporophyte. This sporangia is technically part of sporophyte. Yes or no? This sporangia is technically part of sporophyte. It is part of sporophyte. Diploid nature. Diploid nature, students. Diploid nature. This event is precursor to the seed habitat. So before the actual seed formation, plant is now trying to make a seed. It is trying to make a seed. Okay. Considered an important step in the evolution. So this is a very important step in the evolution, students. Very important step in evolution. Okay. Very, very important step in evolution. That is, here what is happening is, students, see this. The female gametophyte in these plants are retained on the parent sporophyte for variable period. The development of zygote into young embryo takes place within the female gametophyte. Okay, so this entire development of zygote into embryo, it is happening on the female gametophyte only here. Female gametophyte, and it is present on the sporophyte. It is present on the sporophyte here. Sporophyte, it is sporangia. Now eventually it can become main plant body. It eventually become main plant body. All of you understanding? All of you. So the whole point is, in the case of heterospory, the plant is trying to make the seed. Yes or no? It is trying. See students, what is seed? All of you know what is seed, right? All of you know what is seed? All of you. You know what is seed? Students, all of you know what is seed? Yes or no? 1 second, students. If you do not, let me just show you, students. All of you should know what is seed actually. One second, students. There's one beautiful image which I always have. This image generally gives the students idea about seed. What is there in a seed? All of you. Students. See, technically speaking, seed is nothing but an egg. Seed is nothing but an egg. All of you, seed is nothing but an egg. Here we have seed coat. Here we have eggshell. Eggshell is present here. Here we have the cotyledon. Here we have albumin. Both provides nutrition here. Now inside a seed we have embryo. This embryo will develop into a plant body. Plant body eventually. Inside here we have the embryo develops into the plant, into the chick eventually. So I want all of it. This is a seed here. Now this is present in the case of gymnosperms and angiosperms. Why? Because here seed habitat is complete. Once we have a seed habitat, the embryo is present inside the seed. Yes or no? The embryo is present inside the seed. Now this attempt is made here. Students, understand, this attempt is made here by your heterospory to make the seed structure. In that seed structure we can have the entire female gametophyte, development of zygote into embryo in a closed environment. That attempt has been done here, but it is not successful here because there is no interhumans to make seed coat here. There is no seed coat at all here. If there was seed coat, then we would have seen seeds here, but we do not see seeds in pteridophytes because there is no seed coat here. So all of you are understanding the evolution part of you, evolution point of view. From evolution point of view, this is a very big step here, very big step called as precursor to seed habitat. Precursor to the seed habitat here. Eventually the zygote is stored inside, embryo development happens here, we get the main plant body, students. We get the main plant body. Students, I hope all of you are understanding the importance of this evolution point of view. From evolution point of view, students, everyone, did all of you understand what is heterospory, the importance of heterospory? Now students, in this heterospory, right, first time in history, right, of plant evolution, gametophyte here, gametophyte is dependent on sporophyte. First time in history. That is, gametophyte is dependent on sporophyte here. It depends on sporophyte. That is what is happening here. But in the case of Homosporous, both are independent. In Homosporous, both gameto and sporophyte, both are what? Independent here. Both are independent. Both are independent. See, gametophyte, free living, independent. Green color, independent. Both are independent, students. So this is also first time in history. First time in history, both are independent here in Homospory. But tables have turned here. Tables have turned in heterospory. Heterospory. Okay, all of you? Okay, students. Now, there are different. This you have to remember. This all of you can remember easily, students. Examples like Lycopsida, we have the Pteridophytes divided into Lycopsida, Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Stephanopsida, and Pteropsida. Okay. Now, Psilopsida we have Xylotum. Lycopsida we have Lycopodium and Selaginella. Stephanopsida we have the Equisetum. Pteropsida, students, we have the Adiantum teres, Drapteris. Okay. So here is the list. Here is the list, students. This all of you can remember easily. This all of you can remember easily, students. Yes or no? This all of you can remember easily. All the examples. Okay, students. So here is the economic importance. Economic importance. Ornamental, binding to the soil. It prevents soil erosion. Used as medicine. Students. Drapteris is a woody fern whose rhizoids and petioles are used for anti and helminthic drug. So nitrogen symbiotic, polishing metals. So there are multiple uses also. Multiple uses. So coal, food, ornaments, heavy metal absorption, habitat and organism, building material, all these habitat, students. All these are different types of your habitats. Students, solve this question, all of you. Solve this question. Okay. Do we get prothallus first? Meiosis in spore mother cell, fertilization. Okay. Formation of archegone in antheridia. Formation of archegone in antheridia will happen afterwards. Okay, so let me just bring that slide here for comparison. Okay. Now students, see this question now. Prothallus, students, how do we get prothallus? Prothallus is after what? All of you. When do you get prothallus? It is a plant. It is a plant. Lycopsida is a lycopodium is a plant. Okay. Now, do you get prothallus first, students? No. Prothallus is found later on somewhere. Prothallus is found later on somewhere here. Prothallus we get somewhere. Okay. Prothallus is the result of spores germination. Okay. So meiosis in so let's see the format here. Can we get D first? Formation of archegonia and antheridian gametophyte. Okay. From this, students, from this archegonia, can we get transfer of antherozoites to archegonia into presence of water? Okay. It can happen. It can happen. Okay. Let's see, students. Then we have fertilization. Yes. Then we have fertilization. Okay. Then we have fertilization. C also makes sense. Now, students, fertilization, will it lead to prothallus? All of you, fertilization will always be result diploid, but prothallus is haploid. So fertilization cannot lead to prothallus, right? Prothallus is haploid. So fertilization is happening where? It is happening somewhere here. Here. So from here, how can we go back to here? Not possible. Not possible. So this is gone. Okay. See this one. First we have transfer of antherozoites, archegonia. After this, do we get formation again? No, formation will not happen later on. Not happen later on. Okay. Now see, let's see, students, option number C. Let's see option number C right now. Okay. What? Meiosis in spore mother cell. Okay. So what is happening? Meiosis is happening. So we end up getting what, students? After meiosis, what do we get? All of you. Meiosis will result in what? Meiosis will result in spores. Okay. These spores are haploid. They will develop into the prothallus. Yes or no, students? Prothallus. Spores develop into prothallus. Meiosis in spores, sporangia, spores, and we get prothallus here. Okay. So this makes sense. A and D make sense. Now, on this prothallus, students, on this prothallus, can we have formation of archegonia and antheridia? Yes, we can. On this prothallus, we can see the antheridia and archegonia in this prothallus. We can see. Okay, we can see, students. We can see. Now, this can develop into, let's say, transfer of antherozoites. Yes, it can happen. Then fertilization can happen. It can happen. Then fertilization can happen here. Okay, fertilization, main plant body, students. So once you know, right? Once you know what exactly happens here, beautiful it becomes, easy to understand. So reason I cross this is because, students, here fertilization will always result in diploid. Why? Because fertilization is what? One gamete, second gamete fusing together. So we generally get a diploid structure. Now from this, can we get prothallus? From 2n to n, prothallus is haploid. No, we cannot, because it is happening here. Fertilization is happening somewhere here. Here. How can we go back to here, prothallus here? After fertilization is possible because of prothallus. Yes or no? Students, tell me, trust me, if you want to solve such questions, you need to know the life cycle. Okay. Students, solve this question quickly. All of you, solve this question. All of you. Microsporic angiosperm, students, Ulfia. This I haven't told you. Tallest one is called as, where is it? Sycovia is the tallest. Students, did I show you the tallest plant? Tallest. Sycovia, did we see, students, anywhere? Sycovia, anywhere? The tallest. What is, oh, it is present in Gymnosperms, students. Sorry, it comes later on. You might not know this. Okay, it comes later on, students. Gymnosperm, haven't taught you, right? I forgot. Thallid bryophyte is your Markentia. Heterospory is Salvinia. Students, okay, let's see you do not know anything. Let's see you do not know anything. At least all of you know Heterospory is Salagina and Salvinia. So D is to be 1. D has to be 1. So this is gone. This is gone. Okay. Now, students. Now either A has to be 4 or A has to be what? 3. But you know Sycovia, all of you know, tallest gymnosperm, all of you know, students. So B has to be 3 itself. B has to be 3. B has to be 3. Okay, students. The first stage of gametophyte in life cycle of oh, this is mosses, huh? Protonium, student. This is your mosses. Previous class. Very easy question. Solve this question, students. Solve this question, all of you. All of you solve this question quickly. Heterospory, Salvinia, done. Now, students, now next 20 minutes, I'll finish Gymnosperms and you're good to go after that, students. Next 20 minutes, Gymnosperms. Shall we start, all of you? Shall we start Gymnosperms? Last 20 minutes, I'll finish Gymnosperms. Again, students, I'm trying to go as slow as possible because what? Because all these terms, all of this understanding takes time. If I rush any of this, you will not understand, trust me. So this chapter has to go slow. This chapter is a topic where you have to understand things. And when I spoke to toppers, they told me, sir, plant kingdom is the most difficult compared to plant physiology. Plant physiology is even more easy compared to this. Okay, because this chapter, if you understand the concepts, it becomes very easy later on. Okay, now students. Now, algae is over, bryophyte is over, pteridophyte is over, students. Now we come to something called as, before we go to Gymnosperm, see, right, and let's do a recall. Undifferentiated, differentiated plant body, pteridophytes. Aquatic, terrestrial. System absent, present here, xylem, phloem. Motile gametes, yes, motile gametes have all of them, students. Now we come to the Gymnosperms. Last topic of this class is called as your Gymnosperms. Gymnosperms is the last topic here. Okay. Angiosperms used to be there, but it has been deleted right now. Deleted. Okay. Now, students, Gymnosperm. Now, students, what do you think is common between Gymnosperm and Angiosperm, students? What do you think is common? The common here is this. If you see the name also, it says sperms. That basically means seeds. So here we can find seeds, students, seeds. Here we can find seeds here. Students, I'll teach you anatomy. Anatomy is easy. Okay. So here we can find seeds. But the difference is that gymno is basically the naked seeds and angio is covered seeds. Here around the seed there is ovary here which becomes fruit eventually. So seed has fruit around it. Here naked only, they do not have anything. Okay, they do not have anything, students. That is the main difference, students. That is the main difference. Okay, so all of you should know in Gymnosperms, what happens, students? The tallest gymnosperm is what? Gymnosperm is what? The tallest gymnosperm is, or tallest plant in the world is Sequoia. Sequoia, students. Sequoia, tallest. Okay, students. Here are the different examples of your Gymnosperm. Different examples of Gymnosperm. We have Cycas, Pinus, Ginkgo. Ginkgo is the living legend. Ginkgo is the living legend here. Okay, living fossil technically. Okay, Ginkgo. Friends, you can see unbranched stem. You can see unbranched stem here, solid, compact stem, students. Students, if you want a picture of, I have a cycas in front of my house. I'm growing that. Okay, so if you want a picture, I'll send in Telegram. That is Basavaraj Sir Biology. Basavaraj Sir Biology. I'll send you a picture today or tomorrow. It's already late. Tomorrow I'll send you. Okay, Sikkim. Then there is Pinus. Pinus, you can see needle-like leaf and everything. Okay, students. Now, Gymnosperms are naked seeds. First seed plants. So we can see seeds from here. All of you seeds can be seen from here. Vascular plants here. Xylem and phloem is present here. Differentiated plant body. Root, stem and leaf can be present here. Habitat is dry, cold condition. Dry and cold condition. Let's say in your Kashmir and we can see this. Kashmir and all. We can see the entire Gymnosperm, students. Entire Gymnosperm you can see in Kashmir and all. Okay, students. Now, here roots have something called special roots here. Roots have something, students. In case of your Cycas, we can see coloroid roots. Coloroid roots in case of Cycas. In the case of Pinus, we can see mycorrhiza. Students, I'll give you a comparison for this. Okay. Taproot can be, students. We can see taproot here. Students, did we see taproot in pteridophytes? No. Pteridophytes, we had adventitious roots. Adventitious roots in your pteridophytes. See, taproot can be found here. Taproot can be found, students. Cyanobacteria association can be there. So, unbranched stem, branched stem in the case of Cedrus and Pinus. Okay, unbranched stem, branching can be seen. Branching can be seen here. Here we can see adaptations here. Needle-like leaf in the case of your Pinus. White, reduce the transpiration loss. Thick cuticle in the hot conditions. Sunken stomata, evergreen. Sunken stomata again to reduce the water loss. So these are the needle-like leaves. Now in examination, students, where will you get the question from, students? question will come from the cycus and pinus only. So if you know the difference, you are set. Can you students, can we write? All of you. Can you write students the difference between cycus and pinus? All of you. The difference between cycus and pinus. One second, students. Students, give me 1 minute, I'll be back. Give me 1 minute, I'll be back, students. Oh, I don't want my phone to die. Students, all of you smash the like button. Okay, okay. My phone is gonna die, students, anyway. Okay. Okay, students, let's just start points to points. Okay. Now, students, tell me how is the stem here? All of you. Stem in the case of cycus, all of you saw, right? Stem is unbranched. Here, stem is branched. Here, how are the leaves? We have normal leaf here. Normal, pinnately compound leaf. Compound leaf can be seen here, students. Here, leaves are like your needle-like leaf. Now, students, how are the roots here? Now, students, here is a small trick here. For the roots, I'll teach you something called as CCC here. C, C, C. Students, what is CCC here? For cycus, C for cycus, C for cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, students. So, in the cycus, roots have cyanobacteria, and these roots are called as what? Coloroid roots. Coloroid root, students. CCC here. In the case of cycus, here how do we have roots, students? How do we have roots here? Roots are generally have something called as mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza association. Mycorrhiza association, students, can be seen here. Now, students, this cyanobacteria will help in what? It will help in N2 fixation. N2 fixation, students. N2 fixation. And these plants, cycus, are generally dioecious. These are monoecious. Monoecious. They are monoecious, students. They are monoecious. Okay. They are monoecious, students. Okay. Other than that, cycus, pinus, students, did we miss out anything? Cone is present. Okay. Students, in the case of spinous, write down, it's a, sometimes they might ask you, here we can find male and female cone, students, here. All of you. Here we can find male and female. Okay. Male female cone. Here we can find only male cone. Female cone is absent here. I'll teach you. Okay. Male cone is present here, students. Okay. Okay. Now, students, male cone is present here. Now, students. Now, but what is this cone, students? What is this cone actually? Can anyone tell me what is this cone actually, students? What is this cone structure actually? What is this cone structure actually, students? Anyone? Students, what is the cone structure actually? This cone structure, what is it actually? This cone. Students, I'm from Bangalore. All of students, what is this cone structure actually, students? This cone is nothing but, students. This cone is, remember this, sporophyll. This cone is nothing but what? Sporophyll. These cones are nothing but the sporophylls. Compact sporangia is present here. We can find the sporangia also in the inside. They are the sporophylls, technically, students. Sporophyll. Okay. Sporophyll is what? Modified leaf containing sporangia. So here female cone, male cone we can find, and these are sporangia basically. Sporangia. Okay. Now, students, very interesting life cycle. I'm gonna draw. Please draw with me and understand the life cycle. If you understand this life cycle, you are set. It may take some time in the first go, but if you draw this yourself, if you, what do I say, write it 2 times, you'll understand very easily. Okay, students, see this. Let's say here we have the main plant body. Students, main plant body. Students, main plant body is gametophyte or sporophyte, all of you? Main plant body is gametophyte or sporophyte? All of you. Let's take, I have cone here. Let's say I have a cone here, students. Okay, let's have cone here, students. On this cone, I have a lot of sporangia. It's a female cone, let's say. Now, if you focus on one sporangia, here, this right now is one sporangia here, students. One sporangia. This is a sporangia. Now, I will call it megasporangia. Obviously diploid, students, diploid. Now, in this, students, in this megasporangia, right, in this megasporangia, there are multiple diploid cells. Multiple diploid cells. They are called as nucellus. Nucellus cells, students. Diploid cell. My hand is hurting. Nucellus, diploid cell, students. Now, one such diploid cell becomes very large. That is called as MMC. Students, what is MMC? Anyone? Students, what is MMC? MMC is megaspore mother cell. Megaspore, students. This megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis right now. It produces something called as 4 different megaspores, which are obviously haploid. In this 4 megaspores, 3 will degenerate. 1 will be functional megaspore. It's also called as a monospory development. Functional megaspore. Okay, functional megaspore. Let me draw. Let me just draw here. This right here, let's say, is the functional megaspore, students. Single megaspore. So all of you remember, it is the part of your main plant body, right? So this is technically part of sporophyte. Sporophyte will always give you spore. Same, students, same pattern is followed from starting till now. Same pattern is followed from starting till now. Sporophyte gives spore. Students, sporophyte will always give you spore. All of you can remember, students. All of you can remember that. Now what happens, students? Understand. This particular structure here, let me draw the next page. This functional megaspore, will now develop into, students, all of you, this functional megaspore. Yeah, remember? Let me just keep a different color only, otherwise it becomes confusing. I'll keep it in this color because it cannot be photosynthetic. This functional megaspore will develop into the female gametophyte. Okay. Now on this female gametophyte, I can have the, students, what do we have here? Students, do we have archigo? If this is a female gametophyte, students, this is a female gametophyte right now. This is your megasporangia, female gametophyte, haploid in nature. From spore development, right? Here we can see archegonia, flask-shaped structures, archegonia. And these archegonia will obviously have what? These are archegonia. Here we have the egg cell inside. Egg cell, students, egg cell inside here. egg cell is present inside, students. Egg cell is present here inside. Now let's say this egg cell, now let's say pollen grains enter now. Students, pollen grains. Pollen grains with the help of water or wind, generally wind now, pollen grains wind, they enter. Okay. Now students, these are nothing but pollen grains. Pollen grains are entering, data students. Pollen grains are entering. Okay. Pollen grains are entering. Now this pollen grain and this egg. This pollen grain generally has two male gametes. One is non-functional in the gymnosperms. In angiosperms, both are functional. So after two male gametes, one is functional, one is non-functional. The one functional male gamete inside this pollen grain. This pollen grain will have what? One male gamete here. Now this one male gamete, if this male gamete inside fuse with the egg, students, what do we get? Students, what do we get? Everyone. Here we have the female gametophyte, which has the archegonia here. And students, right in the inside right now, we have something called as the zygote. This is megasporangia. Students, megasporangia is also called as ovule, right? All of you know, right? Megasporangia is also called as ovule. Also called as ovule. Now, these are called as integuments. This right here is the female gametophyte, which is obviously haploid in nature, diploid in nature, diploid in nature. Zygote is diploid in nature, diploid in nature. Okay. Now, this entire thing will get converted to a structure like this. It will get converted to a structure like this, students. Now, all of you tell me, students, ovule will develop into what, all of you? This ovule will generally develop into what, students? Ovule develops into, all of you. What does ovule develop into? Anyone who can tell me, students? What does ovule, students, again I'll give you a recap what we have to reach here. Starting, we had a female cone. Female cone has the diploid nucellus cells. One cell is called megaspore. Mother cell undergoes meiosis to give your functional megaspore here. Functional megaspore. This functional megaspore is present, which develops into female gametophyte. Female gametophyte, which has archegonia, egg cell. Pollen grain with a one male gamete come and fuse here. And then we get the zygote. Now, all of you know, male ovule develops into a seed. Develops into a seed. Okay. Now, students, inside a seed, outside a seed, students, what is this out part is called as seed coat. So, technically speaking, these integuments develop into the seed coat. Integuments develop into the seed coat here. Seed coat. Now, inside this particular structure here, okay, inside this structure here, we have a seed, students. Remember, a seed has three main things. All of you. It has the, all of you. It has the growing embryo. Let's say it has a growing embryo here. Okay. This right here is the embryo. So, this zygote will develop into the embryo. Zygote will develop into the embryo here. Okay. And all of you know, embryo is technically diploid. Diploid embryo. Yes or no? Now, in this particular growing seed, it needs nutrition. It needs nutrition. So, it also has a structure called as endosperm. It has a structure called as endosperm. inside. So students, this female gametophyte will develop into the endosperm eventually. Develop into endosperm. Okay. Now students, all of you. So if this is haploid, endosperm in the case of gymnosperm is also haploid in nature, students. Haploid in nature. So that is the development of seed in the case, students. Development of seed in the case of gymnosperm. So students, did you find anywhere ovary here? No, there is no ovary. Since there is no ovary here, there is no fruit here, students. There is no fruit development here. That is why they are called as what? Naked seeds. They are called as what? Naked seeds, because there is no covering here, students. So that is your entire endosperm. See, start from here. Female cone. So we can draw male cone, students. We can draw male cone also. How does male cone go, students? How do we get? Let's say we have male cone here. Male cone is there. Male cone will give rise to microsporangia. Microsporangia will give rise to microspores. Yes, or students? It will give rise to microspores, which are haploid, obviously, because of meiosis here. These will develop into the structure called as pollen grain, which are also called as what? Male gametophyte. Also called as male gametophyte. Now, inside this pollen grain, what do we have? We have the male gamete inside. A single male gamete inside. Okay. Clear all of you? Clear all of you? Yes or no? Let's see this beautiful life cycle. See this. This is the end. This I'll give you students later on. Okay. All of it, tell the answer. I'll teach you NCERT lines. I'll teach you NCERT lines right now, students. I'll teach you NCERT lines. We'll finish in next 5 minutes. All of you. We can solve this question PYQs later. Open the NCERT lines, students. All of you. Is the board visible, all of you? Students. The gymnosperms, gymno means naked, sperma means seeds, are plants in which ovules are not enclosed by any ovary wall and remain exposed, both before and after fertilization. The seeds are developed post fertilization are not covered, that is, they are naked. Gymnosperms include medium-sized trees or tall trees or shrubs. One of the gymnosperm, the giant redwood tree called as Sycovia. Redwood tree called as Sycovia redwood tree is one of the tallest tree species. The roots are generally taproot. Students, I told you, taproot we have here. Roots in some genera of fungal association is called as mycorrhiza in the case of Pinus. So Pinus have what, students? Pinus have mycorrhiza association. Pinus has the mycorrhiza association here. Okay. Now, while some other has Cycas, CCC, small species of roots called as colloid roots associated with nitrogen fixation. The CCC here, CCC, colloid roots. Okay. Students, in Cycas, the pinnate leaves persist for a few years. Cycas has pinnate leaves. Leaves in gymnosperms are well adapted to withstand extreme temperature. The stem are unbranched in Cycas, branched in Pinus and Citrus. Branched, unbranched. Pinnately leaf, needle-like leaf. Okay. Now in conifers, needle-like leaf. Conifers, needle-like leaves reduce the surface area. The cuticle also adapts sunken stomata and also help in reproduction. Students, see this. This is the main important part. Trust me, students. Trust me. If you read this entire part, you will understand next level. Okay. The gymnosperms are heterosporous. So all of them are what? Heterosporous. We have megaspore, microspore, heterosporous. Always heterosporous. Okay. They produce haploid microspores and megaspores. Students, did we get that? Did you find the students? Let me just open this slide here. Students, we have megaspore and microspores here. Both are haploid. Both are haploid here. Okay, both are haploid, students. Haploid. Okay. Now, students, the two are born on sporophyll which are arranged spirally along the axis to form lax or compact strobili or the cone. Students, the cone is, I told you, complex form, lax is the compact structure, is the cone here. The strobili bears microsporophyll and microsporangia are called as microspore or male cone, male strobili. Student, this is a male cone. Or the female cone is called as what? Female cone will have megasporangia, male cone will have microsporangia. Male cone will have microsporangia. Students, I'm not ignoring anyone, chill. Okay, students, here the microspore develop into male gametophyte, that is a pollen grain, which is highly reduced and is confined to only limited number of cells. That is, your pollen grains are very tiny. Okay, so that is the male gametophyte is pollen grain. The development of pollen grain takes place within the microsporangia. Microsporangia, I told you that time, right? The cones bear megasporophyll. That's the big leaf here, big cone with ovules or megasporangia are called as megaspore female strobili. So here we have the female strobili here, female strobili, microsporangia, which is the sporophyte, also called as ovule here, also called as ovule here. Okay, now students, now the male or the female cone or strobili may born on the same tree, pinus, on the same tree, pinus, students, pinus, right, pinus. However, in cycas, male cones and see, female cone is not mentioned here. Megasporophylls are born in different trees here, different trees, monoecious and dioecious condition. Now, the megaspore mother cell is differentiated to form one of the cells of the nucellus. So one of the cells of nucellus becomes MMC, here. So MMC is a differentiated form from the one of the nucellus cells. The nucellus is protected by a envelopes and composite structure is called as ovule. It is nucellus is protected by envelopes here, and it is present inside a pocket here. Okay, ovule. Now female cone. The megaspore mother cell divides meiotically to form 4 megaspores of the megaspores enclosed within the megasporangium develop into multicellular female gametophyte. One of the megaspore, that is, one of the megaspore develop into what? Develop into the female gametophyte. See here, students. One of the megaspore enclosed within the megasporangium develops into multicellular female gametophyte that bears 2 or more archegonia or female sex organ. Develop 2 or more archegonia or the female sex organs here. Archegonia. Okay, students. Okay. Now, the multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within the megaspore. Students, again, in the case of gymnosperms, gametophyte no value. They're completely dependent only. Completely dependent on sporophyte. So gametophyte don't have any value only now. Gametophyte. They're always dependent. Okay. So unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes, in gymnosperms, the male and the female gametophyte do not have I told you, do not have any independent free living. Do not have any independent free living, students. Okay. They remain within the sporangia, retained on the sporophyte. The pollen grain is released from the megasporangium. They are carried in the air by current and come in contact with the opening of the ovule born on the megasporophyll. They'll fuse, students. Again, there is a pollen tube formation also here. The pollen grain carrying the male gametes grow towards the archegonia and ovule and discharge their content near the mouth of the archegonia. Here, they will discharge at the mouth of the archegonia. They will release here. Mouth of the archegonia. They will release all the content here. Archegonia, students. Now, following the fertilization, zygote develops into the embryo and the ovules into seed. These seeds are not covered. Following this, students, what happens? Zygote develops into embryo, female gametophyte endosperm, ovule into seeds. Seeds not covered. And that's all, students. That's all. Chapter is over. Students, that's all. Chapter is over, all of you. Chapter is over. Okay. Students, I'll give you this entire remaining. You can get this in the notes. There are multiple PYQs here. I want all of you to sit and solve them. See, air current, there is a pollen tube is not formed. Pollen tube is formed. So this becomes wrong here. Okay. So there are multiple questions here, students. Which of the following structure is haploid? So which structure is haploid here? All of you. Which is the haploid structure? Protonema is haploid in the mosses. Okay, students. See, male and female gametophyte and gymnosperms are what? Both are reduced and dependent. Both are reduced and dependent, students. Reduced and dependent. Now, this is your homework question, students. This is your homework question for all of you. In the comments, homework question for all of you. Homework question for all of you, students. Homework question. The pinus seed cannot germinate. Pinus seed cannot germinate established without the fungal association, because what is the need, students? What is the need of the mycorrhiza here? Okay, students, I told the answer by mistake, but all of you know the answer now. Okay, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section the answer, students. Okay, students, thank you so much for all of you. Again, students, I've been reminding you continuously, right? DNA batch has started. If you're not a part of DNA batch, all of you quickly join. And I think the last chance again. I think we'll be closing DNA batch for good, right? So thank you so much, students. All of you, take care. All of you. Let me know in the comments. Shamla, Science World, Sharmita, yes, Prem, Anand. Let me know in the comment section how was the class, students. Entire Pteridophytes and Bryophytes. Sorry, Pteridophytes and Gymnosperms. Entire thing, one shot. 2-hour class, done and dusted, all of you, students. So thank you so much, students. All of you, take care and